Morning, everyone. Welcome on this Monday morning. We are back again with the editorial edge. I am Bhuvan, as I am every morning with you, as we discuss what's important, what's required, and what is necessary for you to understand and learn from the examination point of view. All right. So before I quickly begin, if you can see me all right, if you can hear me all right, just quickly let me know, please, so that we can begin. We have two very interesting topics. Two topics that again have been discussed in yesterday's editorials. All right. If everything is okay, just give me the go ahead. Hi, Bulbul. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Madhusudan. All right. So if everything is okay, if you can just give me the go ahead. So I'll introduce the two topics for you. Firstly, yesterday in my Telegram channel, I had uploaded a question on virtual water. And it was obviously not a very straightforward question. So I saw that most of the students struggled with that question. So we'll quickly take a look at virtual water, because whenever we are discussing, say, about environment, about conservation, about even say the water aspect of every policy, like, yes, in some previous classes we have discussed about how water should not be viewed as a commodity. It should not be viewed as something that is for free, but it should be viewed as something that is in limited resource. And that messaging should come, say, right from the top, the political class, up until, say, the citizen. Everyone has to follow that, right? Good morning, Deepak. Welcome. So that is what we are going to look at. We'll take a look at water, and more specifically virtual water, because this is something that is embedded in every policy, or should be embedded in every policy. Okay. So what is virtual water? So we'll discuss that. And second is, we'll take a look at PC Mahalanobis, one of the greatest flag bearers of modern India, in fact. So we'll see who is he and what he has done for India. And we'll also take a look at what AI can learn from PC Mahalanobis' model. That's again a very, hi Shirisha, welcome everyone, Bhaskar. Okay, so we'll take a look at that, because again, say, AI is an emerging technology or emerging field, and yet you find that, say, it is expected, or desired at least, that it goes ahead and learns from, say, the models or the basis or the theory which PC Mahalanobis, one of the greatest, in fact, sons of modern India. So major institutions have been set by him. He was a part of the planning commission. He was part of the 5-year plans. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, what was his point of view? Yes, correct, dance floor, absolutely spot on. Okay. So, drive away your Monday blues, all right, and quickly scan this if you want to be a part of this Telegram channel. Once again, this Telegram channel is not just a source of learning for you, but also for me. I realize what are your weak points, and then we quickly address them. This is how we go ahead. So one major topic, one minor topic, like we always do. So the main course for today is going to be virtual water, while our dessert will be on this topic. All right. So let's go ahead. But before I do, well, first, a very important announcement, that a morning batch from StudyIQ, that is already has been proposed. It's going to start on the 5th or the 10th, I believe. Yes, on the 10th. All right. And so the classes will be held at this very hour, 8 a.m. onwards. And so anyway, like, the whole feedback from the student community was that most students find it difficult to, say, spare time in the evenings. And even working professionals are much more comfortable, say, giving an hour in the morning. All right. So for those two categories, especially for, say, those students who find it difficult in the evening hours, and those working professionals who can spare an hour in the morning or 2 hours in the morning, go ahead and sign up for this Prelims to Interview course. I've told you about this course in detail, but again, once to quickly reflect on it, it's like a complete module that you require, right from the Prelims up until the interviews. Okay. And you don't need to invest in books. Everything is provided for you. Notes are provided. And it's one of the most comprehensive courses a student can associate with. All right. So anyone who's serious, actually a genuinely serious candidate, go ahead and sign up for this. It'll be of immense benefit to you. Our weekend, in fact, the evening batches have just started. Students are already a part of that cohort. And so now this morning batch is going to start. Again, 2 hours of intensive study every morning, making sure that you're on point. Your targets are going to get fulfilled on a weekly basis. It's going to be very, very useful for you. So go ahead, use this code BA Live. That assures you obviously a huge discount, and obviously I become a part of your journey. Hi Adrita. Okay, noted, dance floor. All right. Hi Kevin, good morning. Alright, so this was the question that I had posted on my Telegram channel. Alright, what is virtual water? Transboundary water sharing data, embedded water in commodities, forum for water-based knowledge and using AI. And most of the students were confused between this and this. Okay, some obviously mark this, not a lot of this. So again, if you still do not know the answer to this, well, the answer to this is obviously this, embedded water in commodities. Now let's understand first, okay? Let's understand it from the basics like we always do. So you wake up in the morning, okay? You go ahead, you brush, you shower, go for your morning ablutions. Now you have, say, used a certain amount of water. For example, for say, after waking up, you go ahead and say you brush, you shower and your morning ablutions. Alright. So suppose you use say 100 liters of water, for example. Alright. Thereafter you wake up and you have say chai or coffee, depending on whatever your taste is. Alright. Now, chai, coffee obviously uses water. So you might say a cup of chai, okay, will use less water than a cup of water, which is true. But then you consider the different ingredients in this. So you have sugar, you have milk, right? You have chai patti, which is the tea leaves. Now all of them require water for production individually. Okay. Thereafter you say pick up the Hindu. Sit down to read the Hindu and listen to the daily news analysis. Alright. Now production of newspaper also requires water. So you see, you are using water not just say in your morning routine, but you are using water every step of the way. You may not realize it, but you are using water. So this hidden water, which you do not realize. Say when you are having chai, coffee or when you are reading the Hindu, you do not realize how much of water has gone behind say producing each and every component or constituent or ingredient of that. Do you realize that? Hi Ajay, good morning. Do you realize that? So this is virtual water. Virtual water is the water outside the daily usage, outside the direct usage. You go and wash your clothes, you are using directly, you are using water directly. However, when you are washing clothes, suppose if you are using those Rin or whatever it is called, all those 5-6 brands that you have. So production of each of them it's water dependent. Okay, Rin is for the dishes, sorry, I forget. For the clothes, whatever the brand is. Alright. So do you realize that is embedded water which is being used by you without you knowing. Hi Jyoti, good morning, good morning. Are you guys able to understand? First let me know in the chat. That embedded water, virtual water is something that you're not using directly. Okay. It's embedded in the products that you are using. Are you able to get that first? Okay. If you're able to get that, then we can go ahead because then the whole concept will be clear, guys. Okay. Just let me know. Are you able to understand? For example, again, if I tell you, so you go ahead and start cooking. Okay. Now you go ahead and suppose cook rice. Obviously you put some water in rice, but individually as a crop or as a product, rice is quite water intensive. Do you realize that? Do you understand that? So that is the problem. That is what exactly virtual water is, which is hidden, which is embedded. Alright. So let's go ahead now. Now that you understand the concept of virtual water, which you are using without knowing. Okay. So let's look at some of the products which are water intensive now. Virtual water. Okay. Now the key word to remember here is that virtual water, if water is any part of the production process, the usage of water in any part of the production process. So it could be right from the say beginning up until say refining and final product production. Are you able to understand? I understand, Anjali. See, that's the point, which is why I made the options confusing. Okay. Do you realize? This is the whole point of it. This is the level. Hi Kusum, Solra, welcome, welcome. Okay. So understand this now. Let's look at some of the water intensive say products that we use. Okay. For those who drink, suppose 1 glass of wine. Just a glass of wine, you are going to use 120 liters of water. Okay. For those who like say non-vegetarian food, someone might like say on Sundays mutton biryani. Quite possible. Now, on an average, a kg of mutton will take roughly 3780 kilograms of water. Do you realize? So now when some people might ask, that why should you go vegan or why should you avoid non-veg food? Obviously, besides of the fact that say all these animals produce large amounts of methane, which is again detrimental for us. At the same time, you are looking at say them consuming a lot of water, and then if you have it, you essentially what are you doing? You are going ahead and using virtual water. Okay, so you have say again a glass of beer 75 liters, apple juice 190 liters. Don't get ideas though, yeah. Just because it takes less water, I'll have that. It doesn't matter like that. But okay. Where do you use water a lot? See, apples, eggs, potato, orange, milk. A glass of milk uses 200 liters of water. Do you realize that? We may not realize it, but we are consuming a lot of water indirectly. Now, straight away, you will be able to correlate that if 140 crore people are consuming so much of water indirectly, at the same time, our policies are such that we are, say, incentivizing export of crops or commodities that are water intensive, then that is bad for us. Okay, I'll tell you how. For example, if you are a smart country, for example, Mexico did this, a very smart country, okay, Mexico. We'll come to the theory, just understand this. What Mexico did was, all these water intensive crops now, suppose sugarcane, okay, paddy, they import all of that. Do you realize? Now, what's the pitfall for them? Nothing. They are getting the same price at say what we are getting. Okay, but they are saving their local water. Whereas those countries that are selling them say large amounts of or sending them large amounts of sugar cane and paddy, they are again water deficient countries. Yet they are doing so because of their compulsions. What are those compulsions? We'll understand first. Hi Manash, welcome. ठीक है. All right. So let's look at this now. All the water used in the production of items and goods used by humans is known as virtual water. Every drop of water, from the clothes you wear, okay, to the vehicle you drive, okay, all of that has used water in some way or the other. The phones also that you use. There is contribution of water in the production process, which means that you are using water indirectly, which is called virtual water. Okay. Thus, it is considered invisible because we tend to think, okay, null ban kar diya to water safe ho jayega. Huh? From childhood. Hi Manash, you too. Do you understand that, sir? Anjali, how is it possible, sir, a glass of water contains 200 liters? Okay, I'll tell you. Anjali, see, a glass of milk is being produced by a cow. Do you realize? Now, that's a living being that's going to consume water. Right? So, do you realize the water used by the cow to produce a glass of milk, you have to factor that in. If there was no water, there would be no cow, then you would not have a glass of milk. Do you realize that? So you need to now quickly segregate think from the geography agriculture point of view. Start forming an opinion or understanding what are the water intensive crops. Which crops require less water? Why? Because they have a direct bearing on your water security. Okay, a new word for you, but you will understand exactly what it means. Water security. Okay, that eventually, because of these kind of policies, suppose if you stay in an area, okay, and we are from that area, we are like exporting lot of paddy, lot of sugarcane. Okay. Now, suppose if I am sitting in Delhi and you are say at a far off distance, you are doing that. I may not get affected, but locally there will be water imbalance, right? The water that could have been used by your community or for whatever purpose in a local fashion, now that is getting lesser and lesser by the day because you are exporting water intensive crops, which means you will be under water stress. समझ में आ रहा है? भास्कर, I'll show you. My Telegram channel, I'll show you. First understand the concept. Telegram channel तो हो जाएगा. आप concept समझो पहले. ठीक है? So this is the point. It just straight away understand the whole connotation of it. That you're starting from say a local level where there will be water imbalance because say you are going ahead after water intensive crops. And then say from a local level, you can extrapolate it to a national level. Because अगर आपके घर के आसपास water stress है, if there is water stress in your own immediate area, then it's not local anymore. It's going to eventually get increased. No? If there is no water, how can people survive? How can economy survive? Everything is linked here. Hi Lekam, how are you? समझे? So who came up with this? Professor John Allen. Okay. 2008 Stockholm Water Prize laureate. Water Prize is one of the Nobel equivalent when it comes to say water conservation. Okay. So again, just note the name. Again, it's a factual basis. You don't need to remember it, but know the name. If you want to say quote it in your answers, it will show that you know your answer. Okay. So he demonstrated the concept of virtual water, which measures how water is embedded in the production and trade of food and consumer products. So Professor John Allen came up with this concept, and thereafter you see a lot of countries now start to include this in their policy perspective. Again, this is being followed, say, by the richer countries on a better basis, with the exception of USA. Okay, I'll tell you how so it works. Let's go ahead. So let's look at some of the water intensive crops first. Okay, some of the water intensive crops. So you have again paddy, rice, okay, sugarcane, water intensive. All right, you are looking at banana, water intensive. So what would your assessment be? Suppose if you were my agricultural secretary, if you were the agricultural secretary of Government of India, if I told you about this in a presentation in your office, I told you that these are the water intensive crops, what do you plan to do, sir? Straight away you will tell me that yes, we need to go ahead and conserve water, and that can also be done not just by switching off the tap, but by lessening the export of these, by making sure that we consume whatever we are growing in terms of the water intensive crops. At the same time, reduce your dependence on water intensive crops. Would that not be a fair assessment from my agricultural secretary? होगा कि नहीं होगा? आपके दिमाग में यही आएगा सबसे पहले. ठीक है? तो let's go forward. Virtual water. Now it has three types, guys. Green water, blue water, and grey water. Please, there's one more called black water. Okay? Not that prison, by the way. If you have seen that movie, it's not a prison, but it's another form of water. Note these from the exam perspective. Very, very, very important, guys. What is grey water? What is green water? What is blue water? What is black water? Okay? And all of them together, with the exception of black water, comprise the virtual water. पहले ये समझो आप, ठीक है? Black water is not a part of this virtual water. Please note this down, guys. Black water is not a part. Note this down. UPSC यहीं पकड़ेगा आपको. सबको याद रहेगा कि सारे के सारे हैं, सब वही चिपका के आएंगे. ठीक है? अब ग्रीन वाटर क्या होता है? Precipitation that is not runoff recharging aquifers but stored in the soil. Like the name tells you, green, which means plants are using it, which means the water that is getting absorbed by the roots, that is used in the process of transpiration. I'm sure you guys know what transpiration is. That internal process, no? Equivalent to say sweating of humans, the plants transpire, transpiration hota hai unka. ठीक है? So green water, which is stored by the plants, used by the plants, that is green water. Blue water, rainfall comes, so you have say groundwater that gets recharged, thereafter your lakes, rivers, aquifers, all the underground water storage, overground water bodies, they are all blue water. Clear? Thereafter you have grey water and black water. Very easy example, grey water and black water. Grey water is essentially when you go to the washroom, you take a shower. Okay? That is grey water. However, if you go ahead and say urinate in the shower or urinate in your washroom, thereafter you switch on that faucet. Now that water which has been again contaminated with your urine or your feces, that is black water because that contains pathogens, you know. So that cannot be recycled to a certain extent. Again, it's dangerous. It's contaminated totally. However, if you're washing your dishes, if you're washing your vegetables, you go ahead and wash your face with say all those fancy moisturize, whatever it is called, face wash. Okay, that becomes grey water. However, any water that has urine or feces or any sort of human dirt or human contamination, that becomes black water. Okay? Please understand this first. So grey water, domestic wastewater generated in household, okay, from streams without fecal contamination. The moment say urine or feces or any of those come in, they become black water. Otherwise, it's all. You go ahead and just wash your face. You wash your feet at times, grey water. You wash your clothes, grey water. Okay. But if suppose a small baby has to be say has taken a dump, so that you are throwing away in the commode, the potty thing, that becomes black water. Okay. Feces, urine, water, and the toilet paper from flush toilets. Make a note of this slide, guys. Extremely important. Know these 5-6 concepts, your water conservation is done. I'm telling you. If you understand, say, black water, grey water, blue water, green water. If you're clear in these concepts, if you can explain to me right now what is virtual water, your job is half done when it comes to, say, writing answers. Okay. Very important topic. I don't know why it's not discussed a lot, but fine. We'll go ahead. We'll do this. Okay. So look at this now, guys. So you have blue water, rivers, lakes, aquifers, right? Now companies, all these industries go ahead, use the blue water, then throw out some wastewater. Coca-Cola plants, you must have seen always in the news, that there was a plant in, say, West Bengal, which I know of. There was a plant in West Bengal, some Coke or Thumbs Up, Pepsi, so one of these, okay. And they were using local water. At the same time, these soft drinks are water intensive process, which means the local water table fat se gira udhar. Okay. It went down. At the same time, the grey water that they were pushing out was far too contaminated. So what was happening? They were using local resources. The local communities were stressed. Water was stressed. Eventually, the water table dropped to such an extent that the local communities had to shift base. Do you realize how important this is now? That's something you cannot assume for free, which is why I told you. That change in mindset has to happen from the top. Water cannot be seen as a freebie. कि मैं तुमको पानी देता हूँ, तुम मुझे वोट दो. Not of sustainable, I don't know, it's not sustainable. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting future generations in the foot. Okay. So look at this. That becomes grey water, whatever the Coca-Cola factory is throwing out. Okay. Green water, soil, moisture, transpiration, all of that is green water. Okay. Let's go ahead. Just look at this because it'll tell you the whole understanding of it. Now let's look at the current scenario. Now that I've given you the whole overview, let's look at the scenario. Globally, the largest water exporters are the US, China, Australia, India, Pakistan, Brazil. Okay, you can understand these two. Why? Why are US and China the water exporters? Why is US there? What is US exporting that is so water intensive? Tell me. China, obviously, because of their industries. Their industries are water intensive. Okay. India, our agricultural exports. If you look at it now, you will be shocked. Our agricultural exports, leather, textile, all of these are water intensive industries, guys. So when you export them, you are not just exporting a product, you are exporting the own water of your land, which is limited, which should be used by your own people rather than being exported to other countries and other communities. Okay. So importing water intensive crops and products enables countries to balance their water demand while exporting less water intensive commodities. So the smarter countries will figure out what are the water intensive products. We shall not export them or we shall limit their export. Whereas we should put a more thrust on importing water intensive products. अपना पानी बचाओ, बाकियों का देखेंगे बाद में. Correct, Alajana? In fact, which is why, when you look at water scarcity, water stress, you just shouldn't look at it from the consumer standpoint also. You have to look at it from the product standpoint also. We are looking at the product standpoint now. That which products are water intensive? How can you go ahead and conserve your own water at the product side also? Okay? So Mexico, yes, this example that I was telling you guys. Mexico imports maize and in doing so, it saves 12 billion cubic meters per year of its national water resources. Do you understand that now? So water guzzling activities are getting outsourced for production to other countries. Thus, crops, meat, leather, chemicals, industrial goods are imported. Why? So that you don't have to use the water of your own land. So that you can save your own water. Okay. If, now note the statement down guys, if the future wars will be about water, then the weaponization is in using virtual water trade. Extremely important line here. Okay. One that can be framed as a question as well as probably something that you can leave as a conclusion in your answer. Okay, 2 minutes. Those who have been sending me answers, very well appreciated in fact. Some answers have been really good. Okay. I can't say names. Names मुझे उतने याद नहीं है. But some answers are very, very good. Okay. But one common theme again I'm telling you is that there needs to be a crisp start and a very nice conclusion. Okay. So these kind of lines, no, if you leave the conclusion with these kind of lines, it shows what? That you have understood the topic and you are providing analysis. ठीक है? Recyclable सारे हैं अंजलि. Even black water can be recycled. Okay. Fecal water can also be recycled. It's not that it cannot be recycled. Okay. But in terms of virtual water trade, you will not include fecal water. Okay. I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you everything. So look at this. This is a kind of line that you should include in your conclusion. What I understand is, आप लोग जब answers लिखते हैं ना, you guys are very good with the concepts, the explanation of what we do here. But then the introduction and the conclusion needs working. So for conclusion, use these kind of lines. It shows thought. Okay. So look at this now. 1 to 4% of total water available per year gets depleted through Agri Exports route. Now that you understand the water intensive paddy and sugar cane and all of the other, not cotton obviously, okay, the others, the water intensive crops. Exporting countries view the exports as a revenue generating one. So we think, okay, if we are able to export more agri export, हमारे किसान का आमदनी दुगना होगा, which is a fair target to have. No one is disputing that, but you should look to say increase the farmer's income without having to say go ahead and completely annihilate your water resources. There are other means and methods to do it rather than say incentivize the export of water intensive crops. Okay. So exporting countries such as India view the exports as revenue generating one and the way to boost farmers' income. Whenever you are writing about agriculture, you know, how you go ahead and incentivize agriculture for an individual, make sure you write a line about this also. That it should not come at the expense of unbridled depletion of natural resources. That there needs to be a balance. Okay. There needs to be a fine balance. In fact, some of the suggestions that I'm going to put for you in terms of the way ahead, what should be done, please include them in their answers. They are absolutely critical if you get faced with any question regarding agriculture or water conservation. आज का टॉपिक ये दो चीजों को कवर करेगा अच्छे से. ठीक है? In the long run, the result is the opposite. Water imbalance at local level. Your water level falls completely. Okay? You are more dependent on monsoon to go ahead and recharge your local aquifers. You are more dependent on, say, hand pumps, local level irrigation, much more capital intensive. Okay? The quality of water again, how much are you exporting? What will happen to your local community? How will they sustain themselves? Okay? So agricultural exports deplete an equivalent amount of irrigation water permanently from the country's resource base. Make a note of this. Make a note of this. It's an extremely fine concept. See, Nalajan, I agree with you that China and USA are using GMO crops, okay, GM crops, that's fine. But in terms of, see, industries, now China sends a lot of, say, industries, no? You also know semiconductor industry is water intensive. Huh? Do you realize? You are using water not just, say, in agricultural crops. Crops are a part of the larger industry of, say, your export bouquet or your basket. If suppose this is your export basket, huh? So this is, one part is agri crops, then you are looking at industry and manufacturing, huh? Then you are looking at technical. All of these use water. Semiconductor industry, you guys know, no? How much water it uses. Tell me how much water it uses. Is it a water intensive industry, the semiconductor industry? बताइए मुझे. Tell me. Till then I'll have some H2O. I'll have some water myself. So you realize, If you're using water in each and every segment and at the same time you're incentivizing, say, export, you're losing your own water, guys. समझ रहे हो? You're losing your own water and that's not beneficial for your local communities and your national water security. That is the problem. Okay, go ahead. So the way ahead, extremely important slide, please make a note of this. Extremely important. अगर आंसर आपको चिपकाना है तो आपको ये सारे लिखने पड़ेंगे. Besides say the green water, blue water, grey water, black water. Okay. Number 1, virtual water trade risks. Use this term, VWT. Virtual water trade risks need to be integrated into the policy framework. That we cannot have a policy framework that is independent of the realities when it comes to water conservation. That will not be a prudent policy framework. समझ रहे हो आप? Right now, it is independent. There is no realization that your export model should factor in the depletion of your local resources. That what are you exporting should also factor in how much water you have consumed to export that particular product. That is missing right now. Right now, we are looking at it from the unidirectional perspective कि हाँ अपने को forex लाना है, forex बढ़ाना है, पैसे लाने हैं. Water-based industry like distillery consider a water intensive. See, distillery is in terms of water purification. Sandeepan, if you remember, आपके घर पे जो Kent RO या ये सब होगा, that Kent RO or whatever it is called, okay? You see, just to say, give you a glass of water, how much water it has to drain out. Do you realize that? So yes, water purification is quite a water intensive industry. A lot of wastage of water does happen. Okay? Go ahead, have a look in your own houses today. When you switch on the RO, look at how much of water drains out before you fill it for a glass of water. That's again your water liability. Not just say the water you have consumed, the water you have wasted. At the same time, the water used to make that particular machine, it's all a part of your water credit. समझ रहे हो आप? So fix the upper limits of national virtual water trade, exclude products and regions, wastewater treatment reuse, specification on water types to be used. All of this are key, guys, important, key ekdam. What are you going to do? For example, if you have say Punjab right now, where the water table is falling because there has been increased or over reliance on say water. So you see the water table falling in those areas now. What you should do? So that your export be damned right now. If the people of Punjab can't get water for their own sustenance, क्या करोगे export का? That is the problem. So straight away what you do is, go ahead and exclude products and regions which are getting water stressed. Water stress, where there is say problems when it comes to accessing water. Okay. Wastewater treatment and reuse, grey water, black water, go ahead. Use them. Make a circular economy or a circular fashion of water usage. Okay. That is key here. That you need to have a circular model. What is a circular model? We have discussed now, where you are recycling. Recycling is a key part of circular model. So go ahead and recycle as much as you can, which has begun nowadays. In fact, if you have been in Delhi or these major metros, so you will see the municipal body, their truck come ahead and put water in the plants in the middle of the road, the horticulture. What does happen there? What are they doing? They're using wastewater to go ahead and water those plants and trees. Circular model. Rather than giving fresh water, they will anyways be fine with the wastewater. Treated water at least. Do you realize? That's circular method. Agricultural exports deplete an equivalent amount of irrigation water. Fine, we have done this. Prepare national action plan or guideline. This is missing in the national framework right now. We do not have a plan. In fact, there is not even a realization right now that our exports need to be at least water audited. Again, another term, water audited. Use these terms freely, guys. ठीक है? Why am I telling you this? Because this is a question that I would at least prepare for if I was writing mains this year, for sure, 100%. I would be thorough with it. Water is a problem area and water is a key resource. Okay? So, National Action Plan Guideline, precision technology like drip irrigation. Remember drip irrigation? where you're not using, say, a pipe or a faucet to give unnecessary amounts of water which the plant does not need. You are giving exactly how much it needs in a fashion that is calibrated. Precision technology, drip irrigation, पता है ना आप लोगों को? Tell me how many of you know drip irrigation in the chat very quickly. Let's do this, guys. Let's make it interactive. See, I'm telling you about something that is very critical. Okay. Go ahead, tell me. What is drip irrigation? Absolutely, guys. Bulbul, we should, in fact, that's what I'm telling you. As aware students know, for those who are preparing for the civil services, you need to know this. You need to include this perspective. Everyone will tell you how water conservation is, go switch off the tap, don't waste water, all of that. Simple steps. This is the perspective that an aware UPSC student should have, which is why it's important for you to know this. Okay. And water renewable credit, like carbon credit you have now. Do you realize? You can straight away, because this is an emerging problem. Your solutions can be innovative. Think outside coaching institutes and boxes and Bhuvan sir in the morning. Forget us, we are not important. Think for an individual who is preparing for the civil services, where there is immense scope right now in terms of R&D. Come up with solutions yourself. Draw parallels from other industries, from energy, environment, what is happening there, how can we learn from there and include here. Do that. As aware students, that should be a goal. Forget coaching notes, this, that, nothing else, guys. Unless and until you understand the topic, no. Until and unless you are able to, say, formulate a solution on your own. That's what matters. All this is fine. Okay. So look at this. Fix the upper limits of national virtual water trade. That say after a particular limit, say X, we will not export a particular water intensive crop or a water intensive product. Not going to happen. Regardless of what our current account deficit is, what our fiscal deficit is, how much we want to do. No, nothing of that. There is an upper limit. After that, no more. Okay. Balance. I know, Nalajana, that's true, because the awareness is lacking, no? And more than awareness, do you realize, Nalajana, since I also, in some way, I'm related to an agricultural family, I'll tell you what. The problem is that at the ground level, no, there is a lot of mismatch of expectations and service delivery. A farmer is almost left to his own until and unless the problem strikes. After the problem strikes, then you see the machinery swing into action. But nothing is done in the run-up to the problem striking. Do you realize that? So again, that's another problem from the agricultural point of view. We can have a whole discussion on that someday. Correct, Deepak. You are absolutely correct. Okay, we'll have a look at that someday. But for the timing, let's stick to the topic. List the products and regions that are to be excluded from it. Say water stressed regions. Rajasthan, Punjab, जहाँ पे water table गिर रहा है अभी. Our metros, if you look at it, Gurugram, sorry. It is supposed to lose its water table by at almost 30% in the next 10 years. Do you realize? All these massive flats, no, people are buying 1.5 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore, 10 crore, my God. What are you going to do with that flat if you don't have water? If you have to rely on tanker? क्या करोगे? So it's not just again in our hinterlands, our metros are also getting water stressed. Okay. Set the benchmark for water footprint for different products. Go ahead, do that. Basically tell that in a particular quantity, say 1 kg, maximum amount of water used for production in a feasible fashion cannot exclude, say, 100 liters. For particular products, use benchmark. Start water auditing. Start allocating water like it's a luxury now. No more, it's a freebie. Cities, to Jatin, I'm telling you, if you start auditing cities, yes, just a couple of weeks ago we did on green infrastructure. If you start thinking about the urban management and planning, it's a sham. Kuch bhi chal raha hai. Full. Like planned city, I think I have only visited 1 or 2 in my whole country. One is Chandigarh, which I thought was extremely planned. Second was Gangtok. Extremely planned. Everything is calibrated to the T there. Other metros, though, it's free for all. Do whatever you want until the day comes. Okay. Water types to be used. water quality to be used. Make sure that you, basically all of this whole point is essentially, guys, what, go ahead and treat water like an absolute luxury now. No more can you go ahead and waste water like it does not mean anything. And that message, like I'm telling you, has to come from the top. It's not that मेरे यहाँ YouTube पे चिल्लाने से हो जाएगा कुछ. That has to be coming from the top of the political class. That message has to percolate from there. Right? Okay. So this is the question for the day. Now those who were asking me कि कैसे आपके Telegram channel पे जुड़ सकते हैं, इसको scan करिए please. And this is the question. Just before the class started, I received an answer from Sandipan. I will get back to you. I did not get a chance to look at it. I will get back to you by lunch. For those who want to answer this question, go ahead, quickly look at the question and answer it to me on this particular ID, bhuvan.jha@studyiq.com. Okay, send in your answers. We have around, say, 10, 12 now. It is increased. We have some new additions that have started answering. So people are answering on a daily basis, and I'm more than happy to at least tell them which points you should include and how you should write your intro, conclusion and main body. Okay, so go ahead, answer the question. Don't worry if you are not able to figure out right now. लिखना चालू करोगे ना, 2 हफ्ते में अपने आप हो जाएगा. ठीक है? All right. Are you liking this conversation? If you understood this whole virtual water concept this trade concept, go ahead and like the stream for me, please. Quickly go ahead and like the stream for those who haven't done it so far. Okay. इसको भेजिए, आंसर भेजिए please. I encourage you. In fact, I implore and I request you, send me the answers for this. ठीक है? Next, we will look at P.C. Mahalanobis, one of the greatest sons of modern India. Okay. National Statistics Day was observed just a couple of days ago on June the 29th. So I thought it's only fair that we should discuss this great individual. Okay. So commemorating the birthday of Professor Prasanta Chandra Mahalanobis, also known as the Plan Man of India. Okay. Founded the Indian Statistical Institute in Kolkata. I don't want West Bengal police coming after me. Okay. So the Indian Statistical Institute is founded by him. Lekam, try and answer in at least no more than 200 words. Okay. No more than 200 words. That's the maximum that you should have. No more than 200. Okay. Founded Sankhya, the first Indian statistical journal. Make a note of this. Sankhya, the first journal for statistics in India. He was member of the Planning Commission, played a key role in the second 5-year plan, which was also known as Mahalanobis model. ये क्या हो गया? Okay, Mahalanobis model. Then after that, he also played a key role in setting up of the Vishwa Bharati University in Santiniketan along with Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. So you realize he was quite like an achiever. Okay. But besides his life, what is it that we can learn from his research, learn from his experience and implement it in the current scenario? So let's look at that now. Lessons for artificial intelligence from Mahalanobis. This was Dr. Mahalanobis. So first let's look at the threats that arise out of, say, artificial intelligence. Okay. You are looking at job displacement. That maybe, say, Bhuvan will not come early in the morning 8 a.m. to discuss daily news analysis. That there will be a humanoid robot who will come and teach you daily news analysis. That's a threat. Straight for me. Okay. Spread of misinformation and other ethical concerns. Misinformation how? Nowadays you can actually, there is technology wherein if you take a photo of me like this, go ahead and upload that photo on that AI platform. You can make my body speak whatever you want to. You can morph in such a manner that it is very difficult to distinguish. So misinformation, if you thought WhatsApp was bad, you wait 2-3 years. This will be another level of misinformation. Ethical concerns, thus global push to regulate it. What we do not understand, we fear. It's human, it's human tendency. What we do not understand, we fear always. Same thing with AI. Right now, half the population, like me also, does not understand, which is why I am also fearful. Okay. But now let's look at the Mahalanobis model. Importance of rigorous data pre-processing during surveys, inspired from Kautilya's Arthashastra. Now please understand what is he trying to say. For example, if you have, say, a sample set of 100 tasks, okay, you give it to an individual, a human, and you give it to an AI. What differences are going to come? Yes, this will be faster for sure, 100%. What about this? How is a human better than an AI right now? I'll tell you what. So for example, very easy example I'll tell you. If you ask AI to go ahead and select 100 candidates to go ahead and enter the Indian Administrative Service, it will choose the sharpest 100 candidates. Based on whatever parameters you set, it will choose the sharpest 100 candidates. But as a human, I will recognize that entry into the services is just not dependent on intelligence. It is also dependent on the privileges that you have had or not had, which is why reservations exist. That someone, say, who was coming from an unprivileged or a disprivileged background should have that access to opportunity, which a human will recognize, but an Android or a AI won't. So inclusivity is a problem, okay, which is what Mahalanobis model is all about. He's saying importance of rigorous data pre-processing, that you go ahead and find out first about the individuals and what makes them suitable or not suitable for IAS, and also have that benchmark of reservations and making sure that physically disadvantaged individuals, people from, say, SC, ST, OBC communities, all of them have a representation in that sample set of, say, 100 IAS that you have wanted to choose. AI will just choose the sharpest 100 individuals. Humans will choose all of that. Okay. So, for example, when deploying AI in hiring processes, it is crucial to assess and mitigate biases to ensure equal opportunities for all candidates. Nowadays, you have, say, LGBT rights are also included. That a person from a disprivileged background or someone who is, say, again, not getting the rub of the green their way, they are given an equal opportunity. Bipin, don't say that. He's a master. He's Bhagwan hai statistics mein. ठीक है? PC Mahalanobis's approach can help for more inclusive AI. Do you realize? This is important. That AI should not just look at it in a qualitative manner, in a quantitative manner, it should also look at it qualitatively. That you choose the set which is inclusive, not the set that is the sharpest. Okay. Which is what the problem with AI is. It does not choose the most inclusive group, it chooses the most sharpest group. So what lessons can you learn? Example in agriculture, combining meteorological data, satellite imagery, farmer generated data can provide valuable insights on crop health, pest outbreaks, optimal irrigation practices. Right now, if you go and ask AI, कि हाँ AI मुझे बताओ, give me 5 steps to improve my crop productivity. It will give you a generic 5 lines. It will not ask you to identify what's your soil content, जो soil health card में हमें पढ़ाया जाता है कि कितना यूरिया चाहिए, कितना नाइट्रोजन चाहिए. All of that. It will not mention any of that. It will straight away tell you, do this, it will work. Is that inclusive AI? If you want to train something, it should be trained for local conditions, no? Not for like a national perspective. उसके लिए तो हम लोग बैठे हैं ना यहाँ पे. ठीक है? Mahalanobis, what he said, importance of statistical models to derive meaningful inferences. Look at this. This is what the whole Mahalanobis model is. That when you have a sample set, of say 100 iterations or 100 samples, the data that arises out of it has to compulsorily include inferences and predictions. Don't just draw straight away vague inferences. Pinpointed inferences that are inclusive in nature are the way forward. Okay? Applying predictive models to healthcare data, policymakers can identify population health trends, forecast, all of that. Understand this, guys? Very important when it comes to, say, AI, because again, most of us are, discussing AI on a day-to-day basis without understanding the facets of it. So when you're looking at AI, you also have to include the part of inclusive AI. Okay. That data pre-processing and rigorous Okay, rigorous verification is the way forward. Again, important concept for the mains. कोई बात नहीं प्रतीक भाई, आप आ गए, बहुत अच्छी बात है. पूरा क्लास जब भी आप फ्री हो आप सुनना, लेकिन आज का क्लास आपको इंटरेस्टिंग लगेगा, स्पेशली वो फर्स्ट वाला भी, फर्स्ट टॉपिक जो हमने किया था. ठीक है, एनी क्वेश्चंस गाइस सो फार? इफ नॉट, then I come to the end of these two classes, these two topics. But not before, once again I tell you that the P2I initiative that is starting on the 10th. So, oh yes, I did not tell you this at all, in fact. गलती मेरी है. ये देखिए आप. हाँ, in the P2I initiative, what is essentially is that you are getting a complimentary book also. And 2 books that in fact are like standard books for your ethics paper. Okay. So again, that shouldn't be the only reason why you should join this course. I can also assure you that this course is going to be something that is going to handhold you right from the first day. You know how we discuss these classes, morning classes, how we come from the basics and take you right up till the mains level in a manner in which you can understand. This is going to be done for each and every topic. Imagine the level of effort that is going to be put in to make sure कि आपको समझ में आए, ताकि आप 200 शब्द लिख पाओ उस पर या 400 शब्द बोल पाओ उस पर. ठीक है, तो ये P2 इनिशिएटिव है. गो अहेड, यूज दिस कोड BA live. We begin on the 10th, which is essentially not very far away. ठीक है, okay. So this questions answer I will be expecting from all of you. Please make sure that you send me answers. I am really grateful for those of you who are sending me answers. Okay, some really good answers in fact. It warms my heart to see that people are following what I'm trying to communicate. ठीक है, any questions guys, I'll be happy to take it, क्योंकि मेरे पास अभी 4 मिनट और है, 5 मिनट है. Any questions, please, I'll be happy to take it. If not, go ahead, make a note of this question, send me the answers. Okay, the email ID I'm noting down once again. For any of you who are interested, send me your answers. It will only help you. Join my Telegram channel, for a lot of content is pushed out. Bhaskar, I'm glad you liked it. Nalajana, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. See, that is the point, guys. Newspaper reading should not be just about reading. It should be about understanding from the basics. Now, if you go ahead and read any article on AI and that was published in yesterday's Hindu, I think, go ahead and have a look at it. What exactly it's trying to say. The whole 1000-word article, I have condensed it in 2 slides for you, so that you are able to write 200 words. That's the point, no? That you should be able to write 200 words, crisp answer. हाँ, UPSC का evaluator खुश हो जाए देख के, वही तो करना है हमने. Okay, प्रतीक, चलिए ठीक है, fine. If there is no question for me, I shall see you guys tomorrow morning. In fact, this evening also, 9 PM, I will be live with another topic. Okay, so make sure that you join the Telegram channel. Stay subscribed to StudyIQ IAS. It's going to be a major boost in your preparation in the coming days. Trust me. You know, we don't do any nonsense motivation here कि पढ़ाने की जगह मैं तुमको 1 घंटा ज्ञान दे के आ गया, वैसा नहीं होता इधर. It's complete focus on topic. Okay. All right, coder. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bhaskar. I shall see you guys. ठीक है, रात में 9 बजे. And also daily news analysis कल सुबह 8 बजे. Please make sure you join me for another session. Till then, take care all of you.